Stand by for Bwana.org radio. In 3, 2, 1. Cue the announcer.
You found Bwana.org radio, your one source for tech news and reviews. Now, almost live from sunny Florida, here's your host, Bwana McCall.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to episode 239 of Bwana.org Radio. That's 239 of Bwana.org Radio. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. We got 13 bookmarks, everything from some stuff from GDC. That's the Gamers Developers Conference, which is going on somewhere on the West Coast, somewhere, I think. I don't know. I just know I can't go, so I don't really pay attention to the location. I just know I got to be watching it online. So the location means nothing to me. I just know that I just go to Ustream, I go to Justin, I try to find a live stream or some blog coverage on some of the websites, the Kotakus, the Joysticks, and we got a lot of stuff from Joystick tonight to talk about some GDC news, some of the stuff that came out of there yesterday, and we got some other stuff sprinkled throughout the entire show. I've been playing Final Fantasy 13 before the show began. I planned on playing 30 minutes of it, and it turned into an hour. Yeah, that happens fairly easily because the cutscenes can get to you. Then you get to a fight that you think is going to be 5 minutes and it turns out to be 20 minutes. So, yeah, my time management skills are kind of lacking there. But we got started a little bit late, about 8:35. We're here at live.bwana.tv. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday night. So if you decide to want to watch us live, you can come by and you can participate in the chat room. I got the chat room overlaid with the show and stuff like that there. So we're going to have a great time with this show, people. We got a great show lined up for episode 239 of Bwana.org Radio.
It's time for Bwana.org Radio's tech news for this week.
And for our first story, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go right to GDC news. And the biggest story at GDC, the biggest thing that happened yesterday, was Sony's press conference. And it got a lot of press. Some positive, some negative. But Sony basically unveiled their motion controller, and they called it the PlayStation Move. The PlayStation Move. Yeah, this is an article over on Joystick. They say they touched it from every angle. PlayStation Move is kind of a two-controller setup. Very, very similar to what the Nintendo Wii has. And I watched the press conference today before the show. And they basically acknowledged that Nintendo was a pioneer in this industry. And I'm kind of happy they did that. Because, yeah, when people look at this, they're going to think about Nintendo. Nintendo was one of the first ones to make this very popular. I mean, they're breaking records with sales. And when the mainstream sees this controller scheme, they're going to have a general idea of how to use it. So, without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the PlayStation Motion Controller. Now, they went into detail. They have a lot of pictures on this website. I'm not going to focus too much on this website here, but they have hands-on experience here. And it's basically what we've been seeing for the past few weeks. It's this controller, and it's got this circle attachment on top that you can get in various colors. And it looks very geeky. I'm going to say that right up front. I'm a Sony fan myself. I like Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo, but it looks kind of geeky with the circle on top. And, that's so that the camera that comes with it can do some accurate pinpointing of what's actually happening with with your motion. So they have another controller which can be used in other games. So when they demonstrated this, guys, they showed two different things. They showed a bunch of little party games, things that are very similar to Nintendo, things you would expect, bow and arrow, sports, typical mini games that you would expect with a motion controller. And then they showed another thing, which kind of concerned me. And they announced that SOCOM 4 is going to support this controller. SOCOM 4, if there was a level of hardcoreness with games, hardcore fans, hardcore enthusiasm, just a level from 1 to 1,000, SOCOM 4 will be over 9,000. Those guys are raving fans. And to introduce a motion controller to a hardcore game speaks volumes to where Sony wants to go. But I don't know if the fans are going to go for it, man. You're putting a motion controller in SOCOM 4. Now, obviously, if they, they're going to be smart about it. It's not going to be a requirement. It's going to be, optional. But the way the guy was playing it in the demo, he was using one controller to control the gun, I think, and another controller to control his movement. It looked very awkward. You look awkward apparently doing things with this controller, but from what I'm seeing and from what I'm reading from the sites, it's very accurate in terms of where your movement is going and what it's doing. They said, some sites said it's right on par with the Wii Motion Plus, so it's better than the regular Wii stuff, but it's right on par with the Wii Motion Plus. And in some cases, it's a little bit better because they had some applications where you had to cut someone's hair, cut some things of some hair off, and where you had to do some really pinpoint accuracy things. And one of the things that really caught my eye was the pinball game, not pinball, the ping pong game. The ping pong game, in that they were able to control to capture your hand movements and your hand gestures. Because with ping pong, I keep saying pinball. I guess deep down inside I want to play pinball. In ping pong, you want to change the spin of the ball. You want to change backhand, forehand, speed. You can do back spins and stuff. So it was cool to see. The demo looked impressive, and even if it's not ready, from what I saw, that'd be like something I'd want to try. Will I be buying this? That is way too early to tell. But if you want more information about the PlayStation Move, I highly recommend you check out one of my favorite sites. I reference them all the time. Joystick.com has a lot of information, pictures, and hands-on experience, and things like that. So check them out. Go to Joystick. Big news at GDC yesterday, guys, was the PlayStation Move. Next story, we're going to move over to some more news related to Sony, but not necessarily related to GDC, and this has to do with PlayStation Home. Today I had the opportunity to go into PlayStation Home and test out the new patch. Apparently there's a new patch, version 1.35, and it improves quite a bit. And my pop filter is kind of moving here. I apologize for popping my peas. It improves quite a bit. Basically, the biggest headache I had with Home was the loading time. When we were talking about it on Blowing.over/forum, we're like talking about all the different pinpoint or all the different bullet points that they were going to fix in this. And I was like, man, I hope they fix the loading time. I hope they don't just say that. I hope they do. And I went there today, and lo and behold, it was actually usable again. If you've ever used PlayStation Home, you probably have seen the navigator or the place where you navigate to go to different places. And it was like this tiled system. It was like bleh. It was just like blah. It was horrible. It was very slow. Sometimes it would take forever to load. So they've replaced it with this interface you see here. It looks like a sort of a spin-off of the XMB interface, but it has these giant colorful icons, which are really, really, really easy to navigate. Let me just say that. They are really easy to navigate, because I went in there today and I was like, this is great. I mean, they had sections for new updated areas and, my favorite places, all your friends. And, they claimed that they listened to the user community when they did all these updates. And, some people were asking today, is this a UI update? But I was like, no, it's, they improved the speed tremendously. So when you go to different areas, it doesn't take 10 hours to load. Sometimes you get the ghost people that show up if you've ever been home. Sometimes it takes some time to load, but this definitely improves on the existing Home. So kudos to Sony for a 1.35 patch, which I think is a success, because it was getting unbearable. I was going to Home less and less because it took an hour to go to 4 or 5 areas. It was ridiculous, but now they've improved that. And they're claiming that with this update, they've got a lot more users and a lot more people. So hopefully, more people will check out Home. I think it's a good addition to the PlayStation Network experience. Check it out. Joystick has it as well. Next story, we're going to be talking about something very cool. HD movies. I'm a big HD fan, guys. I watch a lot of HD content at home. Most times, if there's something on TV, I look for the HD version first. I'm just big HD fan. I invested in an HD TV. I got Blu-ray. You know, I got HD content coming through DirecTV. I invested in it, so I want to watch it. So when I read this, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. The PlayStation Network is now the first to achieve all 6 major studios for HD movies. All 6. They finally nailed all 6. Nobody's gotten all 6. PlayStation Network has finally, and Sony's on the roll. I gotta say, Sony's on the roll. I look for 360 News, but all I can find is Sony because Sony's on the roll. They've nailed all 6, and these 6 include 20th Century Fox, Walt Disney, Paramount, Universal Pictures, Warner Brothers, and naturally, Sony Pictures Entertainment. Those are the big 6 shops that they have landed for HD content on the PlayStation Network. Now, obviously, this is going to be limited to your area. I know a lot of countries don't have the video portions for the PlayStation Network available, but you know, Sony's trying to get that out as quick as possible. It is available in the United States, so if you are in the United States, you can go to the PlayStation Network and expect, you know, when you go to the store and go to the video section, you're going to expect a lot more HD content from all 6 major networks. Check it out. Congratulations to Sony for doing it first. Apple's been trying to do it. Microsoft's been trying to do it. I mean, everybody's been trying to get everybody on board in terms of the studios, and Sony finally did it. I'm impressed. Congratulations. Check it out. Slash Gear has the scoop. Yo, va there. Some more news from GDC. I'm taking all this GDC stuff and just throwing it at you. On Live. You guys remember that service, right? On Live. This is the promise of console-less, hardware-less gaming. All gaming will be streamed, according to this particular service. On Live is going to be coming at June 17th for PC and Mac for a $15 per month service fee. And what they're doing is they're offering a pre-registration. I think it's still going on. And if you pre-register and are selected, you will be in a 3-month free trial when it comes out. So you can check it out. I've already signed up. I pre-registered because I want to check it out for free first. Now, $15 is just a service. You do have to pay for the games on top of that. So I don't know how much free content they're going to be offering, but you are going to have to pay for the titles or rentals of those titles on top of that service fee. Yeah, but if you consider what it promises, all right, if you add up the dollar amounts of what it promises and what it's looking to replace, it might actually be a deal. Okay, if you're replacing a gaming PC, you know, getting a video card, replacing the maintenance all the time, and you know, you may get some discounted titles. You know, if you're replacing all of that, it may come out to be cheaper in the long run. But for someone who's established in PC gaming, like myself, someone who's excited about Valve coming to the Mac platform, like everybody on the Mac was gaming, you know, you may not want to invest in this. You've already invested in a rig that can play games, and you know, this promise of bandwidth heavy gaming, you know, you may not want to invest in something that you haven't seen proven yet. That's why I want the free trial, guys. I want to check it out first. I want to make sure that this thing is actually what they advertise, because I'm very skeptical. Very, 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 very skeptical when it comes to the promise of true latency-free gaming online. When you're streaming a game and you're playing against people online, man, that's some good technology. That's why I want to see it in practice. Check this out. This was also on joystick.com. Lots of GDC news, guys. Check it out. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Bad Company 2 and Modern Warfare 2. The big hassle, the big fight. I don't want to call it a fight. It's a rivalry, if you will. But basically, you know, a couple days ago, Infinity Ward came out with this Mapathy. I think it's Mapathy.com. And they're advertising the DLC for Modern Warfare 2, which is going to be coming out on March 30th. Okay, that was cool. But then Bad Company 2 I don't know why they did this. They didn't even have to do this. They came back and said, "Well, we're gonna offer something too. You see, they got new maps. We're gonna offer these free maps." So basically, Bad Company 2 is going to offer VIP Map Pack 2. They're not new maps. They're essentially existing maps in different modes. So yeah, kind of weak there, DICE. Modern Warfare 2 is they're offering DLC. It's for a price. It's going to be new maps. But Bad Company 2 is going to take some existing maps and add some modes to it. And they're going to be free. If you're a VIP member, remember I talked about this whole VIP thing. You know, if you buy the game new, you get VIP access to EA DICE's download service, and you'll be able to get future free, quote unquote, free content. And this looks like the first of that batch. So check it out. This was over on joystick.com. They got the details. Yo, vadia.
You're listening to Bawana.org Radio, a potpourri of tech news and reviews.
Next, we're going to shift gears to some cell phone news and talk about Windows Phone 7. Remember we had trouble with the name with this, guys, when we talked about it earlier? Windows Phone 7 platform, Windows 7 phone, Windows 7 phone, Windows 7 phones of Windows 7 phones. Anyway, there was an announcement a while ago that they were going to be bringing Xbox Live content to these phones, and there are going to be games that are going to be playable on these phones. Well, it's some good news for you guys. Apparently, these games are going to have up to 200 Gamerscore achievement points. So if you do buy a game on the Windows Phone 7, which is coming later this year, you'll be happy to know that these games will count towards your Gamerscore. So you can imagine, if you will, just take the iPhone, iPod Touch world of games and then apply that to Xbox Live and throw in achievements. So it sounds good. If you're big into achievements, if you love Xbox Live and you're looking for a new phone, this might be the thing for you. It's a good promise. Let's hope it comes to pass, because Microsoft, they came through with Windows 7. I got to give them credit for that. They came through with Windows 7, but man, it's hard to trust Microsoft when they promise something. It's just hard, man. It's like that friend that that broke that you let borrow your car and he got a flat tire 10 times. And you're like, man, let me borrow your car. I'm like, no, man, you're gonna get the flat tire. No, I'm not, man. That was just bad. No, you're gonna get the flat tire, man. No. That's how I feel about Microsoft, man. It's just hard to trust them. So hopefully this Windows Phone 7 thing will come through. Hopefully the games on it will come through, and the whole Xbox Live will be ported to the cell phone that we're all hoping for. That'd be a good thing. It'll keep Apple on their toes. It'll keep Android on their toes, and it'll benefit us as a consumer. Check it out. This one's over also on Joystick. We're gonna call this the Joystick Podcast. I got all my stories from Joystick. Check it out on joystick.com. Next story, we're going to move on to some Mac gaming related news, not necessarily with Valve, but with hardware. A very, very popular hardware vendor by the name of Razer has promised that they're going to do Mac support for all of their upcoming products. So this is hot on the heels of the Valve announcement with gaming. I have used Razer products, and I got to admit that they are good. I had a Razer mouse, and it was a good mouse. It failed on me, but it wasn't the fault of Razer. It was the fault of a third party, which I won't mention here. And it was a good product. So people who use Razer products, they generally like them, and it's good to know that there will be a official Mac support for upcoming Razer products. Check that story out. That one's over on Engadget.com. They got the details and links over there. Next story, we're going to move on to Twitter news, Twitter-related news. And one of my favorite, this is social networking, guys. We're kind of shifting gears. We've been gaming it up, GDCing it up. Now it's time to talk a little bit about social networks. And, I've been using this client called Brizzly. Brizzly. If you go to Brizzly.com, it's made by some former Googlers, and it's got some bells and whistles that I'm not going to talk about now. But I like them. I've stuck with them, and I can't stop using them. So I was happy to see that they have acquired a company called Birdfeed. You may have heard of this this Twitter client called Birdfeed on the iPhone. They bought the Twitter client Birdfeed, WikiRank, and with these two combined, they have formed Voltron in the form of an iPhone app. Yeah, absolutely free. If you go to the iTunes App Store right now, you'll find that the Brizzly app is absolutely free. I have downloaded it and I've used it, and it's Birdfeed with some improvements. I kind of like Birdfeed, but I really like Simply Tweet a lot more because of their push notifications. This doesn't have that, and I was sad. I was like, I gotta have push notifications with my Twitter client on my iPhone. Whenever I get mentions or whenever I get DMs, it gives me a push notification. I'm addicted to that. I gotta have it. But this iPhone client is very useful because it utilizes the features of Brizzly. Brizzly has a great mechanism for explaining Twitter trending topics. Okay, and they're gonna use this Wiki Trends, WikiRank technology and the Let's Be Trend API to kind of bring all of that together, okay? And, you can go to Brizzly on the iPhone, all right? And you can go to Brizzly right now. You can see that they have detailed explanations of the Twitter trends. So if there's something about Chuck Norris, you can see Chuck Norris turned 70 years old on March 10th. That's why everybody was talking about Chuck Norris. And, they had a little joke on there, he'll still beat your grandpa. That kind of stuff. So, sometimes you go to different sites and different Twitter places, and you see all these crazy tags and all these crazy people talking about stuff, and you have no clue what it's talking about. So the Twitter trends are explained very well in Brizzly. They're intertwining that into the iPhone client. It's a very neat mechanism. All they need is push notifications, and I will completely switch to this client because that's the only thing keeping me with Simply Tweet is push notifications. Gotta have it. Check it out. This one's over on Louis Gray's blog. He was the first that I seen had it. And he broke the story on his blog over there. Next story. We're going to be talking about Google applications. Man, Google has been just announcing all kinds of stuff. They announced a bunch of other stuff that I'm not talking about in this show. This is the main one I want to talk about. Apps scripts for Google Docs. Oh my goodness, this is the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of the end. Oh no. The reason why I say that is because Microsoft Office was a great tool until they introduced VB Script. When they introduced VB Script, all of the major problems, viruses, and nonsense started to creep up. Because no longer were you dealing with a word processor application or a spreadsheet, you were dealing with a program with tentacles. It could do all kinds of stuff. So now this app script is going to be doing some similar stuff with Google Apps. No, not the same. But essentially, this is going to allow you to write short programs, okay, in Google Apps. So for an example here, they have a movie night script which figures out which movies are playing close by and invites everyone to vote on what they like to see most. So it's a simple form. If you're used to Microsoft Office and Access and Excel, it's a form. Office has a form builder. You build a form and, you can do simple polls and, capture the data in a database or a spreadsheet. So, this is the beginning of the end. We're going to be reading about Google Doc exploits with app script. Turn off app scripts. Anyway, it's not that bad, guys. I got bad memories of Microsoft Office, and oh man, I used to be a virus analyst, and I've seen so many microviruses. It just check this story out. This was over on Google's blog. They got the details over there along with links and screenshots that you just saw.
You found Bawana.org Radio. Tech news and tech gadgets for the hardcore geek in all of us.
Next story, we're going to talk about Windows XP. This is kind of bad news, guys. if you are a big user of Windows XP and you're clinging to it, you're like, okay, I'm not moving to Windows Vista, I'm not moving to Windows 7, I'm happy where I am. This story may or may not upset you. Essentially, if you are planning on buying new hard drives with new hard drive tech, okay, meaning new hard drives that feature 4K sectors instead of the 512 byte blocks required by Windows XP, yeah, you're not going to be able to use them. So by early 2011 or 2011, according to this article, all new hard drives will feature 4K sectors. And apparently this is not going to work with Windows XP. So it's a corner case. It's not, Windows XP is dead into 2011. But if you are looking to upgrade to one of the newer hard drives, you might encounter this issue. Now, here's where planning comes in. Before this happens, if you find yourself in a situation where you may be running out of hard drive space or you may need a new hard drive, it might be a good idea to kind of round up a little money and buy a hard drive now. Buy one of the hard drives that are compatible with Windows XP because they may be going very fast once these new ones come out. And you might find yourself out of drive space, or your drive may be dead and you only have Windows XP in your hand and you're like, I can't believe I have to buy a new version of Windows with this hard drive. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm moving to Linux. Which may not be a bad thing. But check this story out. This one's over on epc.net. EPC, that's 3 E's. epc.net. Windows XP and incompatibility with the newer hard drives that are coming out. Check it out. Next story has to do with my employer. They give me money to do stuff. Not really a slave thing, but I voluntarily do things for them and they give me a paycheck. It's called a day job. HP, Hewlett Packard. Anyway, they're introducing a new MediaSmart, or I say we are introducing a MediaSmart add-in. Okay, this is the media center, if you will, media drive. These very, very smart media servers. They're introducing a TiVo add-in, which will allow you to man, that was awkward, allow you to transfer videos to and from this device. Very, very cool. The cool thing about this is that the HP MediaSmart is very, very simple to set up on both Mac and Windows. Okay, very simple. It's like plug and play. It's like plug it in, boom, there it is. Stuff goes there. Okay, now you'll be able to transfer TiVo recordings. So if you're running out of space on your TiVo, hey, no fret. You just copy it over. And you want to watch it again, you just copy it back. Very, very smart. I guess that's why they call it MediaSmart. Not funny? Okay. MediaSmart. HP MediaSmart is adding TiVo compatibility to transfer videos back and forth. Check it out. This was over on Engadget.com. They got the details. Oh, yeah. Now, let's talk about a very, very exciting story, guys. This is something that I think you geeks are going to really, really like, especially if you are into old video games, retro video games, and you understand the term ROM or emulator. There's a lot of legality around this that I'm not going to get into. But if you understand this, you understand that there's some legal issues around ROMs. You have to own the game to own a ROM, blah, blah, blah. So, say you're using Boxee, okay, in your living room, and you're like, oh, I got a hankering, man. I got a hankering, man. I just want to play the arcade version of Star Wars. I just want to play. I just want to play, and I want to do it in Boxee. There is no other way I'm going to do this. I'm going to play it in Boxee, and I'm going to do it now. This article over on MakeUseOf.com will teach you how to turn your Boxee into the ultimate ROM and game launcher. Yeah. Check that out. Nice screenshots, right? It even got a nice interface to pick the games that you want to play. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Now, it's very involved. I perused over the instructions on how to do it. So if you're squeamish about this whole stuff, If you're used to clicking installers and clicking next, 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 and then finish, this is probably not for you. This is for the person who's serious, who's been fiddling with Boxee before, and they want to get ROMs installed on their Boxee box. So this is a very nice tutorial made over at makeuseof.com. They got the details over there. Highly recommend you check it out. And finally, while we're talking about make stuff, this is a very, very strange and very useful at the same time. Say you have a tablecloth and you spill something on it. Well, if you spill wine or something that, stains, you usually have to either throw it away or do something special to get the stain out. Well, somebody decided to invent a tablecloth that wants you to spill stuff on it. Please spill something on me. Please spill something on me. Apparently, this tablecloth was designed with some stenciled in patterns. Okay, these hidden patterns, they only show up when it becomes stained. So if you spill wine, as you can see with these 4 frames, it turns into butterflies. There's no need to fret. You spilled wine and it became butterflies. Don't know how to feel about that. That's just plain weird. So when you come to your house, you're going to see all these circles of butterflies. You're like, oh, I got that at the store. It was on sale. It was made by a famous designer who's now dead, but his wife's alive. And she gave me the key to his safe. And I went down to the basement and found this tablecloth underneath his grandma's diary, which he kept hidden from everyone else. And there was the tablecloth. It was such a great adventure. All you did was spill wine. Very weird, guys. Very, very weird. Check it out. This one's over on makemagazine.com or blog.magazine.com. They got the details over there. They got all the different panes and just details on them. What's going on? Very weird. I want to end the show with that. All right, folks, that concludes episode 239 of Buona.org Radio. I want to thank everybody for listening this long. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday night at live.buona.tv, where we do this every Tuesday and Thursday night, like I just said about 2 seconds ago. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when we're here. And we try to start on time, but, sometimes we're late, sometimes we're even early. Those are rare, but sometimes I am early. I want to encourage you guys to sign up for our forum. Go to buona.org/forum and sign up and become a part of our community. You'll be happy you did. We got some great stuff up there. We got some humorous links. We got tech stuff. We got a Q&A section where you can ask for help. The community will chip in and help you. We got places to submit feedback to me on my show, suggestions. So much over there on buona.org/forum. I also want you guys to check out tpnlineup.com. I don't think the episode's been posted, but I was a guest host and a guest on tpnlineup.com. I want to be on 2 episodes that are going to be upcoming. Not sure when they're going to be posted. I think South by Southwest is going to slow down the schedule over there, so it may not be posted until like next week or so. Andy McCaskey's, I think he's going to be at South by Southwest this week. So check me out. Over there. And that concludes episode 239 of Buona.org Radio. And I will see you next time.